Welcome. Whether you are an Agile Coach, a Scrum Master, or a project manager, you know that keeping a project on track is one of the hardest parts of the job. You need to know exactly where your team stands at a glance. This is where visual tracking tools come in. Today, we are going to break down the two most popular tools used in Agile project management, the Burndown chart and the Burnup chart. By the end of this presentation, you will not only understand how to read both of these charts, but you will know exactly which one to use for your next sprint or project. Let's dive in. Let's start with the burndown chart. If you work in Scrum, you are likely already familiar with this. A burndown chart is a simple, straightforward countdown. It tracks the amount of work remaining against the time left in the sprint. Picture the chart. On the horizontal x-axis, you have time, usually measured in the days of your sprint. On the vertical y-axis, you have the work remaining, usually measured in story points or hours. The chart features an ideal line that slopes downward from the total amount of work at day 0, straight down to zero work on the last day. Your team's actual line tracks what is really happening. If your actual line is below the ideal line, you are ahead of schedule. If it's above, you are falling behind. The greatest advantage of a burndown chart is its simplicity. In 3 seconds, the team knows if they are on track. However, it has a major blind spot. It doesn't handle scope changes well. If a client adds new work midway through a sprint, the burndown line goes up. To an outsider, it looks like the team accomplished negative work, which can be incredibly confusing. To solve the exact problem, we have the burnup chart. While the burndown chart counts down to 0, the burnup chart counts up to the total project scope. It tracks how much work has been completed over time. On a burnup chart, the x-axis is still time, but the y-axis is the total amount of work. This chart uses two distinct lines. The first is the completed work line, which starts at 0 and climbs upward as tasks are finished. The second is the scope line, which sits near the top of the chart, representing the total work required. When the completed work line meets the scope line, the project is done. The burnup chart shines when project requirements are fluid. If a client adds new features, the scope line at the top jumps higher. Your team's progress line doesn't drop. It just means the finish line moved. This makes the burnup chart a fantastic tool for transparency. It shows stakeholders exactly why a project might be delayed. Not because the team is slow, but because the scope is increased. So, which one should you use? It comes down to who you are communicating with and the nature of your project. Use a burndown chart for your internal development during a strict short-term sprint. It provides a sharp psychological focus on the immediate finish line. It tells the team, here is what is left. Let's get to 0. Use a burnup chart for long-term projects, external clients, or executive stakeholders. It paints the full picture. It clearly communicates scope creep, protects the team from looking unproductive when requirements change, and shows a running total of the value delivered so far. To summarize, burndown is for simplicity and sprint focus, whereas burnup is for transparency and scope management. Many high performing agile teams actually use both, a burndown for the daily stand-ups to manage immediate tasks and a burnup at the macro level to keep stakeholders informed of the overall release progress. Ultimately, data is only as good as your ability to communicate it. Choose the chart that tells the right story for your audience. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more insights into project management and agile frameworks. Also, make sure to check out the blogs related to this topic linked in the description below. See you in the next one.